You're born as a giant panda somewhere in south-central China. Your mother gives birth to you inside a small cave because she couldn't fit into the hollow log she wanted before. Your body is pink and hairless, and you can't even lift your own head. For weeks, she hardly moves from the den, feeding and cleaning you while living only on her own body fat. She keeps you warm against her stomach, and every time you move, she pulls you closer. Skip forward 6 months, and your fur has grown thicker, your eyes are open, and your legs finally hold your weight. This is the stage when you and your mother leave the den permanently and your training begins. The first thing she teaches you is how to tell bamboo apart. She walks slowly between the stalks, sniffing each one before stopping to bite through a tall green stem. She chews for a long time, swallowing the softer parts and spitting out the splinters. Then she moves to another stalk nearby, lowers her shoulder, and slams into it hard enough to snap it in half. It falls sideways, and she leaves it where it lands. You stand there trying to figure out the difference, but all the bamboo looks the same to you. You pick a stalk at random and bite down, but it barely bends under your teeth. So you try again, harder this time, and the skin splits, leaving sharp fibers stuck in your gums. You pull back and start chewing the leaves instead, pretending that's what you meant to do. She glances at you, blinks once, and goes back to feeding. That's your first lesson. She shows you copy, and if it hurts, you'll remember next time. When she finishes eating, she lies down in the grass. You still have energy, so you wander off and find a short tree leaning to one side. It doesn't look hard to climb, and for a few seconds you even make it halfway up, but your claws slide off the bark and you lose your grip. You twist on the way down and hit the ground flat. The sound makes her look over, but when she sees you moving, she turns back to chew again. You stay there for a while, staring up at the tree you didn't conquer, then push yourself to your feet. You limp after her, still learning that every mistake in the forest comes with a bruise, and tomorrow there will be more of both. Skip forward and you're 1-year-old now. You follow your mother as she walks into a shallow stream to drink. The rocks shift under her paws, but she moves carefully, stepping from one to the next. You try to copy her, placing your paw where hers was, but the stone rolls and you fall straight in. Cold water splashes over your face, and you start paddling until you reach the other side. She turns to look and waits for you to crawl out, then goes back to drinking like nothing happened. You're dripping wet, so you drop into the mud and start rolling to dry off. The more you roll, the worse it gets. The water mixes with dirt until your fur turns brown. She sniffs you once, decides you're a mess, and leads you toward a nearby tree. She presses her shoulder against the trunk and rubs up and down, leaving her scent behind. You try to copy her, but pee in the middle of doing it, marking the bark by accident. It's the first time you've ever marked anything as your own, even if you don't know it yet. When she's done, she moves toward a patch of fresh bamboo and starts eating. You stand beside her, chewing leaves when you spot movement behind her. A red panda walks closer, sniffing the stalk she dropped. You try to warn her, but she doesn't react. Instead, she rolls onto her back, scratching against the ground. The red panda squeaks, trapped under her for a moment, then goes still. She stands upright, stares at the body, and without hesitation begins to eat. You watch in silence, unsure what just happened. Pandas don't hunt, but they'll eat whatever is already dead. Anything that keeps them alive a little longer. And soon you'll have to do the same because your time beside her is almost over. You're 1 year and 6 months old now. Your mother starts growling every time you get too close while she feeds, snapping her head towards you until you back off. One morning, she swipes across your shoulder and walks off down the ridge without looking back. You follow her scent for a while, expecting her to stop. But she doesn't. The smell grows weaker with every step until it fades completely. You circle the same valley for days, keeping close to the trees she used to rub against. When her scent finally disappears, the forest feels empty, so you climb higher and start searching for food on your own. You find a small bamboo patch and chew for hours. The shoots are easy to eat and gone before you realize how little there was. So you move downhill looking for more, but find only dry, hollow stalks that splinter in your mouth. You spit them out and keep walking. Most days blur together now. You spend almost 14 hours just chewing, resting where you stop and waking only to feed again. You start rubbing your sides against trunks, leaving light marks to remind yourself where you've already been. One afternoon, you catch a fresh scent on a tree. It's strong and sharp. It belongs to a large male. You freeze, then climb the nearest trunk and stay there until you see him pass below. When he's gone, you climb down and move the other way. Days later, you reach a valley where the bamboo is yellow and hollow. You chew one stalk, then another, but none of them taste alive. You remember the sweeter smell from before and turn back, following your own faint trail through the forest until you find the last patch of green. You collapse beside it and start eating again. Those are what the first few weeks of being alone will look like. But things will only get better from this point. Skip forward again, and you're 2 years old now. You wake up to the smell of blood drifting through the trees and follow it until you find a half-eaten takin lying on its side. You move closer and take a bite, chewing slowly, unsure if you're allowed to. The meat is cold and tough, but it's the first time you've ever tasted anything that isn't bamboo. You tear off another strip and keep eating, careful to stay alert. Then the scent changes. A leopard steps out from the trees with its eyes fixed on the carcass. You freeze, then scramble up the nearest tree. You climb higher and higher until the trunk starts to bend under your weight. The leopard walks below, staring up at you, then drags half of the carcass away and disappears into the bushes. You wait a couple of minutes more until you're 100% sure he's gone, then climb back down. The other half of the carcass is still there, so you eat quickly, ripping through what's left of the ribs. You barely finish before another scent hits you. It's a wolf. It breaks through the grass and you jump for the tree again. But your paw slips as you try to climb higher and you fall straight down, landing hard on its back. The wolf screams and its back legs break under it. It limps off without looking back, but you stay still, unsure of what just happened. Then you start eating the meat again. By the time you finish, the cold has settled in. You start to shiver, but on the trail ahead lies a pile of fresh horse poo. You follow the smell and roll in the poo, rubbing your shoulders and neck until you're coated. Within minutes, the shivering stops. The chemicals in the manure numb the cold in your skin and let you rest. The trick works, but the smell will draw attention. And next time, you might not get this lucky. You're 4 years old now. The winter has ended and you descend into a valley covered with new bamboo shoots. But you're not the only one here. A herd of wild boars is already feeding, tearing up the ground and chewing through the softest stalks. You rear up against a tree and slam your front paws down to scare them off. Most of them scatter instantly, but one large male stands his ground. He lowers his head and charges. You move aside just in time and swing your paw across his side. The hit lands solid and the boar squeals before retreating back into the brush. The rest of the herd disappears with him, leaving the bamboo patch all to yourself. You feed for hours, confident for the first time that this valley belongs to you. A few days later, an Asiatic black bear wanders in from the upper slope. It's twice your size and walks straight toward the patch you're feeding on. You rise to your full height again, pressing your back against a tree to look bigger. The bear stops a few meters away and stares at you without blinking. Neither of you move for a long time. Then he exhales and takes a few steps forward. You respond by growling. The sound makes it hesitate, and after a long pause, it turns away and disappears between the trees. The victories give you confidence. You start marking trees more often, standing on your back legs and leaving scent higher each time. Then a few months later, when spring comes again, a new smell drifts through the forest. It's not food this time, but something stronger. It's the scent of females, and every male in these mountains will soon be chasing after it. Skip forward again, and you're 5 years old now. The forest smells different. Female scent marks streak the trees, fading fast after only a few days. You follow one trail through the valley. Every few meters you stop to sniff, marking beside hers to show you found it. The trail leads deeper into the forest until another scent crosses it. It's another male. His marks are fresh and still damp on the bark. You rise onto your back legs and spray higher, trying to cover his scent with your own. Then from the other side of the clearing, he steps out and makes the first move. You charge, and the two of you crash together, sliding down a slope and rolling through the dirt. You shove him off once, but he circles back, snapping at your shoulder. You bite his neck and break free. But after another shove, he turns and limps away, leaving a trail of blood behind. You stay standing for a while, breathing hard, then start walking the other direction. Soon after, you find the female resting near a fallen tree. She doesn't run when you approach, and within moments, the two of you mate. When it's over, she leaves, heading off to find her own den. You mark the valley again and again until your legs shake, determined to hold it as yours. By the time you stop, your shoulder is cut and burning. The wounds sting for days, and by the end of the week, they're swollen and sore. The infection spreads quietly, and you don't yet realize how much slower it's making you. You're 8 years old now. The wounds from the infection have healed, but the scars stay rough and thick along your shoulder. The mountains freeze early this year, and snow buries every bamboo patch you relied on. You try chewing the frozen tips, but your teeth slip on the ice until your jaw aches. After hours of scraping and biting, you give up and start moving downhill, hoping the lower forest still has food. You walk for hours before spotting a steaming pile of fresh horse manure on the trail. The smell is strong, but you remember what it does. You roll your shoulders in it, pressing it into your fur and smearing it across your neck and chest until you're coated. The cold fades almost instantly. The chemicals numb the nerves in your skin and let you breathe easier. You lie there half asleep in the snow, wrapped in the stench and warmth. Then a low growl wakes you up. 2 wolves stand at the tree line, testing the air. They circle you once, confused by the mixed scent. One of them sniffs you, and then both of them decide to just walk away. You stay perfectly still until they're gone. The trick worked again. Then a sharp crack echoes through the forest. You lift your head thinking the wolves are back, but something hits your shoulder. It's a dart. You try to stand up and run, but your legs give out before you can even move. The world tilts sideways and fades. When you wake up again, the ground isn't soil. It's concrete covered with hay. Bars rise on every side, and a wall of glass separates you from bright shapes and noise. You're in a zoo enclosure, far from the valley you came from. Humans picked you up because your injuries made survival impossible. Crowds gather every day, holding phones and laughing when you roll or chew the bamboo that's already been cut for you. Every few hours, a keeper comes, drops food, and leaves. Seasons pass, but nothing changes. Your heart weakens and your legs grow heavy. One morning, you lie down and don't get up. A keeper rushes in, calling for help, but you've already stopped breathing. Outside, the crowd moves away to the next exhibit. Life as a panda might be rough, but there's another animal out there that has it way worse. Trust me, it's wild.